Welcome to episode 8 of Confront. Today's debate is in the backdrop of a Supreme Court order that effectively fast-tracks the resolution of the Ram Mandir title suit. Have the scales tilted in favor of the majority community after the Supreme Court's decision not to refer the Ismail Faruqui judgment of 1994 to a larger bench? To confront this, and ultimately each other, we are joined by Kamal Faruqui, member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, and Member of Parliament, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, who has impleaded himself in the case. Dr. Swamy believes his plea that Hindus have a fundamental right to pray at the disputed site. He believes that the fundamental right overrides any claim that the Sunni Waqf Board may have over the land. We begin today with the most obvious question. After the Supreme Court judgment, is the Hindu case now stronger? Dr. Swamy, you are intrinsically involved with this case. Do you perceive this to be the fact?
Well, the short answer is yes, but let me explain. First of all, as far as the title claim of the Sunni Waqf Board, the Allahabad High Court had rejected it.
Yes.
In fact, they gave two-thirds of the Babri Masjid area to the so-called Hindu interests, Hindu petitioners, those who had claimed that they had a temple there and they were trustees of it and therefore should be allowed to rebuild the temple. And one-third they gave to the Muslim community, not to the Sunni Waqf Board, saying that would be a good way to restore harmony, not on basis of law. Now, everybody, they are in appeal now here. What has been fast-tracked is actually, and why the demand was made for a larger bench, was because of my petition, which will go very fast once it is listed. It should be listed. I'm going back to the Supreme Court to ask them. Mine is a writ petition. It was originally impleaded by the Supreme Court itself in the main matter, or the original matter. But the outgoing Chief Justice then separated it again and is now a separate writ petition. And there, the only thing that matters is whether a masjid is an essential part of Islam or not. Because as far as the mandir is concerned, it is. And there's enough to prove that. But if both are essential parts of their respective religion, it would have been very tough for me to make a claim. It would have been then, I would have to rely on the fact that there was a pre-existing mandir.
Which is something that the ASI has actually talked
absolutely.
about. But the same judgment that you just quoted, the Allahabad High Court judgment,
yes, did
in no way suggest that a temple was demolished to make way for the construction of a Babri Masjid. It stopped short of saying, let's be honest about that.
No, there's no question. I don't need to be dishonest at all. The judgment very clear, categorically accepted the Allahabad High Court judgment. This ASI judgment or report.
But the ASI report, I just want to make sure that we have the facts right before we open this out.
And please be assured that nothing is going to be dishonest here. No. Whatever you want to say, you can say without having fear that I'll not be honest about it.
So let me then say very clearly, Dr. Swamy, that from my reading of the judgment, etc., and I can actually cite this part. Now, the judge has come out and said that there is nothing to suggest as of now that the mosque was built after a temple was demolished. They said a temple might have existed there. There was certainly a Hindu structure. That is what is said.
Yes.
But there is nothing to suggest that one made way for the other. That we must establish.
No, you see, there were 3 judges.
Okay.
And they were, most of the time they gave separate judgments.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Justice Sharma?
Justice Khan. Justice Khan did say that Hindus were not able to prove that a temple was demolished.
It's 2-1, he's in a minority.
Okay. But so
Justice
we disregard
Agarwal
that.
and Justice Sharma, they are of the different view. That this is enough to show that there was a pre-existing temple.
Pre-existing temple. Whether that was broken down.
Narasimha Rao, when I was asked by the Supreme Court, please tell us what's your solution, he gave a written affidavit.
Yeah, I have that.
Yes, stating that if there was a pre-existing temple, he doesn't say it was a demolished temple.
Yes.
Pre-existing temple we will hand it over to the Hindus to build a temple.
But that affidavit also says, if on the other hand the question is answered in the negative, namely that no such Hindu temple structure existed at the relevant time, then government action will be in support of the wishes of the Muslim community.
That's fine, but that's not what happened.
So let me ask you, now that Dr. Swamy, in complete honesty, and you probably agree with what he is saying, has come out and established without any bias the fact, I want to ask you, sir, has this recent Supreme Court judgment made a dent to the claim of the minority community, sir? Because it no longer holds the Babri Masjid central to the faith.
Yeah, as far as Dr. Swamy is concerned, he always is very candid and very honest as far as making the whole statement is concerned. And he has made my job a little bit easy while referring to the Allahabad High Court number 1. And Allahabad High Court has divided the whole property into 2/3 and 1/3. And that's also a matter of record that the first people who went into the appeal were the other party and we only had to follow it. That's a matter of record. So they did not accept even that particular judgment which they are relying on now. Number 2, yes, when you say that this judgment, recent judgment on Dr. Ismail Faruqui, whether it is a setback or not, I'm very candid in my this. Yes, it's a setback to our cause, and we have not been in a position to impress upon the judiciary that the Dr. Ismail Faruqui case has been dealt with without referring to the 3-4 essential parts of the whole thing while you decide about the particular script. They have not referred to Quran, they have not referred to Hadith, they have not referred to the other things also, and they did it in a very sweeping remark itself. Even at that time, though the judgment was not the unanimous one, it was a dissenting judgment. 2 honorable judges dissented with it, but on separate count. But the basic principles of going into whether a particular purpose is essential to a particular religion or not, that has not been dealt with in that particular judgment, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Sahib will agree with me. So
no, that has not been dealt with only because we haven't plumbed, as you're saying, some of the more material circumstances. But my question to you is very straightforward. Sir, at the end of the day, that is not really something that devolves upon the judges, that devolves upon those people who are arguing their case. And they should have done it with greater conviction. I don't know what went on there. But the fact of the matter is, now that it is no longer integral, this particular site, the Babri Masjid is no longer integral to the practice of your faith, sir.
You're talking about Babri Masjid. I'm talking about all the masjid in the country. I'm talking about all the other people.
In Saudi Arabia, mosques are regularly demolished.
Let us not talk about Saudi Arabia or Pakistan.
No, but they are not less Islamic.
No. But whether less Islamic or not Islamic, I'm not concerned about that. I'm talking about my country, my mulk, my constitution. And the situations over here, wherein for hundreds and thousands of the year, we have been living together, and it is the Hindus who have been kind enough
but
to...
But sir, precedent counts. Sir, let's not disregard precedent. No, if in other countries, and let's, expand the ambit. Look at triple talaq.
Okay, I think now we'll be digressing the whole thing. When I'm talking about diagram, we'll be talking about that separately. But let us talk about, concentrate on the masjid right now. You are referring to Saudi Arabia. You cannot give me one single instance when the masjid has been demolished for the reconstruction of any other religious entry. What actually they have done, whenever there is an expansion, there is an expansion like Khana-e-Kaaba, there has been mosque all around.
There is a massive mosque in the heart of Istanbul.
Yeah.
Hagia Sophia.
Yes.
Now that was, to begin with, a church. It became a mosque, and now it's really a tourist site.
Yes.
So here you have a reconversion of an existing structure that was revered or considered. And isn't it a fact that there are only 3 holy sites really in Islam that are integral to the practice of the faith?
No, sir.
Isn't it a fact?
No, it is not a fact. It is not a fact. Every mosque is an integral part of Islam, and I'm not talking on the basis of surmise or saying anything. It is being written in Quran Majid itself.
So are you saying this matter has not been settled?
It matter as far as we are concerned. It is not settled. But as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, yes, it is settled.
So then that's the end of the matter.
No, why end of the matter? There may be an option again for going into the whole thing. And
this is where the problem is.
Yes.
Because, I'm not trying to be disparaging, but there is evidence to suggest that every time there is a sensitive matter like this that is arbitrated by the courts, where there is a judgment that comes, and if it refers to a particular community and the practice of beliefs in that particular community, it inevitably ends up being challenged. So what is the guarantee?
So won't you allow me to exhaust all my legal avenues for this? Would you allow me when I'm living in the country, and I'm believing this?
Who has stopped? But
yes,
there also needs to be an adherence to the letter of the law.
Sir, we have already,
the spirit.
Sir, we are already on record. As far as the Supreme Court order is concerned, since we believe in the Constitution, we know it.
But sir, in the past, Shah Bano case,
sir,
even the triple talaq matter,
sir, again, you are talking about
the community rejected.
Sir,
it pushed Parliament.
Why in fact, community rejected? Because it was not a part of what they said. In fact, it was against the religion. They are totally love. You are talking.
Well, that will be said about the Babri Masjid also, that it's the order, if it goes against your community completely, you will say it's against our belief system.
No,
and that's the point I'm trying to make.
Sir, here, when we are talking about the Babri Masjid, there are 2-3 very essential part of it. One is that in Dr. Ismail Faruqui case, what the Honorable Court has done, now they are saying, no, it is reference only with reference to that particular masjid only. But Dr. Swamy would be on me on this. This is applicable to any other religious instruction.
Sir, how long will we have to wait? Let me ask you this. Many people are saying that these are only delaying tactics. This particular appeal to pass the Ismail Faruqui judgment.
Everybody will be saying it.
Okay, so that's an interesting point. Because it doesn't just devolve upon the Muslim community, Dr. Swamy, to accept the verdict or not accept it. Because on your side of the fence, on the Hindu side of the fence, you have a situation where even with regards to the Sabrimala case, though you have welcomed the judgment, there are many, including the RSS, that want to challenge it. So there will never be an end to this.
No, let me just backtrack and then come to this new point. Our Faruqi friend here, he's one of the most articulate spokesmen of the Muslim community. I have always great pleasure arguing with him. We were neighbors for a long time. So I will be contesting his point and hopefully even persuade him, because I think he's one of those rational elements in the society with whom we can work. I am personally for Hindu-Muslim unity if it can be achieved. And he knows from my family circumstances, I have no biases against any religion. The question is, this is where Ram was born. We have a list, and I have a list of 40,000 temples which were demolished during Islamic rule. We have not laid claim to all the 40,000. We have only said 3 because of its special significance to the Hindus. The place where Krishna was born, the place where Rama was born, and where Shiva expressed himself in Kashi Vishwanath. So these 3 are obviously broken and a masjid built. You can see it as far as the Babri Masjid was under. But as far as Krishna Mandir, you can see there was a settlement which meant half and half, and so you see the Hindus had conceded half of the land in 1968. And in the case of Kashi Vishwanath, it was forcibly imposed on us by Aurangzeb. So these are the 3, and after that, no further claim on any other. This is a statement made by RSS, this is made by all the spiritual gurus and the Vishwanath.
But still, that makes me ask you, if it is so intrinsic, if it's an article of faith, then surely, sir, if and I don't want to presage the courts, but if the ruling goes against you, you as in the Hindu community, will you accept the ruling? Because you already come out on record and said, no, we should now explore parliamentary rule.
I have a precedent of the Shah Banu case. And this is so important for us that I will do a Shah Banu on Ram Mandir case if it goes against us.
Do a Shah Banu on the Ram Mandir case if it goes against us. But that is not going to sort of undermine the spirit and the letter of the law as laid down by the Supreme Court, sir?
No, we
Wouldn't
didn't.
that be majoritarianism?
No, but what happened in Shah Banu, it was also majoritarianism. If the majority was not in favor, it would have been passed.
But this is also a sensitive matter.
Of course, it's a sensitive matter.
And it could
But
lead
I
to
am
violence
saying
as it
that
has in the past.
I am saying this is a place where we cannot do anywhere else. This Ram was born and it's been held for centuries and centuries. All the last 500 years, the Hindus have been fighting for it.
Your reaction to this?
Two things.
This could be seen as a threat.
No, I will not take it a threat. He has got his own style of saying it in so many things. So he can go even to the Supreme Court and say all these things.
No, but they'll go to Parliament.
Two things, sir. Two things are there. Let them go to the Parliament. And of course, they will be they are in the majority, they can do it. So but let this remain there as a matter of record that yes, there was a mosque for almost 500 more.
What will that do for interpersonal and interfaith relations?
No, interfaith relation will continue to be like that. People will be there. Of course, we don't agree with Mohan Bhagwatji, but there are lakhs and crores of Hindus and lakhs and crores of Muslims who always want to live together, and they are like his family. It's an ideal family, which anybody could say it. Then in spite of whatever he says, but let us not personalize the whole thing. We'll go to...
No, if the court verdict is not relevant,
no, sir,
if you will accept
I'll tell you, sir.
a challenge like
tell you, sir.
in the Shah Banu case. Now, 1 second, sir.
Yes, sir.
I must ask you this question.
Right.
Then why are we going through this tortuous route?
You tell me, sir.
Why not back, like the Shia Waqf Board has done, back a move for an out-of-court, peaceful resolution driven through consensus rather than the edict of court, sir?
So do I have the time to respond to all your three questions?
Of course, please.
You said about Shah Banu. Number one.
I didn't, he did.
But you again said it and respond to him through you also. Shah Banu, there was no Hindu involved, no other community was involved. It was purely a religious interpretation which we fought for it. And ultimately, I'm very honest to you that Congress, they played a very good politics in it. And one of the law minister, in fact, he used a kind of word which has in fact negated the whole Shah Banu case. But that's a part of the history. These things happened. So, but as far as the Shah Banu is concerned, that was relating to only the Muslims, no other community was involved, number one. Number two, as far as the Lord Ram, for which even our great leaders, religious leaders, as well as the great poets of the country, others also, we have considered him as a Imamul Hind. Yeah. Imamul Hind means who leads the entire Hind. Hind means not this country, but it's a Hind when we talk about in the greater aspect. But at the same time, when
Mr. Bhagwat will be happy to hear this.
Yes, Mr. Bhagwat knows it, but he does not want to be happy. If you say about Iqbal, he will not be happy. He will say, oh, what is it? He is a Pakistani. What are you talking about? You should not talk about it. Faruqui is saying it, it is not. Subramanian will say it, so he will agree. But Faruqui will say he will not agree with it. That's a part of it. So this is one thing. The other thing is that as far as my learned friend, we have great regard and we have been close to each other. He has said about the birth of Lord Rama, right? He has said, and this has been contested even in the Supreme Court also. I really, as a very innocent person, I fail to understand whether he was born 2000 years ago, or 1 million years ago, or 2 million years ago, or at what point of time was born, or at that particular point of time when he is. I have got a book wherein we say that there is a great relationship between some of the people says. In fact, a very good writer, he said that perhaps Lord Rama is the changed name of one of the prophet which was born earlier also. But I'm not saying it. I'm saying it about the book. But can anybody, even Dr. Subramanian, say very specifically that Lord Rama was exactly born at the place
where it's a matter of faith. That's what I'm saying to you.
It means
if it's a matter of faith.
When it's a matter of faith, it means there is not recorded. There is no record of it. You cannot say it with the authenticity
No,
of Lord Rama.
Look.
I'm
there is no doubt that there was.
Rahul,
see, look, before we even began, and we are talking about 150 years ago, when this matter was first contested, brought to the courts. At that time, people even doubted the existence of a Ram temple.
Muslims?
Many people did. Of course, there is enough. There is enough. He has cited.
Sir, we have nobody to interpret anybody's religion.
No. Yes. Please understand. Yes. The first challenge was that there was never even a temple. There was never even a temple. Why do you think the ASI was brought in? It took 150 years to determine that, yes, there was something akin to a Hindu structure Whether it's a temple dedicated to Lord Ram, that is not known. But I just want to quote. I just want to quote.
I know that.
Yes.
I know that, but
50-pillar bases and association of the huge structure are indicative of remains which are distinctive features found associated with the temples of North India. So now we know that there was a temple. Hindus had faith that there was a temple. Science proved that there was a temple. Hindus have faith that Lord Ram might have been born at that spot.
I think when you
you have to just interject for a minute. You see, Al-Aqsa is claimed by the Jews, and the Muslims say that Muhammad went to the sky from there on a horse.
Yes.
Now, is there any proof of that? No. What about Christ being born in Bethlehem? Is there any proof of that? Only the dream of the mother of the Roman emperor, Constantine. That rumor, she dreamt that that particular spot Christ was born, and that's what everybody believes.
In Nazareth.
Yes, in
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
So these are matters of faith.
Yes.
Now I am asking you, therefore, if and since you are conceding, sir, with due respect, since you are conceding that, look, even if it were to go in our favor, and the Hindus were to go to Parliament, pass a law, we would be okay with it. We'll still live as brothers.
We have no other option because it's a democracy. We will have to follow it. We believe in the constitution.
So Muslims cannot have justice in this land?
No. See, the question is how you define justice. Is Parliament resolution not a justice? I mean, we have to understand that justice.
Yes, majority, whatever the majority.
The majority can.
Yes, it can.
Tyranny of the majority is also.
Majority is deciding on the fundamental right of Hindus.
But the majority may not always be right, sir.
I agree, but here we are deciding on the fundamental right of the Hindus. Whereas their only argument is, this is my title.
The fundamental right that you are talking about is the right to offer prayers.
Faith tells me Ram was born there.
But that still has to be upheld by the court. You have moved a petition.
I have said so. That nobody has challenged it so far. The only two people who have been issued notices, the government of India and the government of UP. I'm sure that they will not contest that. So I should have now that this they declined a larger bench, my route is very clear, and it will come. I should get a result before the property issue.
Rahul, my another question you raised, in fact, you raised about the Shias also. So that question has to be answered.
Please.
Yes,
right?
Because there's a divide in the Muslim community.
No divide in the Muslim. There is no divide in the Muslim. All the Shia leaders, for your kind information, the top Shia leader of the country is our vice president. Another most respected Shia leader is a part of us.
Sir,
so
the court route has also not been able to prove. And let me bring this out. If you look at the Allahabad High Court judgment, just as one of the judges, S.U. Khan, has not been able to, or has alluded to the fact that the Hindus have not been able to prove that a Ram temple was demolished. The court, that same very court, those three very judges have also said that there is no proof.
No, they proved Ram is born there.
Yeah, well,
in the middle.
Yes, well, they put that as but I'm just coming to that point. The fact of the matter is that they've also never said that the land was owned by Babur.
Which Babur you are talking about?
We are talking about the Emperor Babur.
Absolutely wrong.
That's what no, sir. That has not been proven. So no. Let's go back,
sir.
I have the facts here. I have the exact quotes here.
Yes.
Even that has not been established, and this is very, very important. Look,
sir, it's a historical.
The Muslims have what Justice Khan said. I'm quoting Justice Khan here, and I am quoting him clause by clause. So I'm not making this up. Muslims have not been able to prove that the land belonged to Babur, under whose orders the mosque was constructed. Similarly, Hindus have not been able to prove that there was any existing temple at the place where the mosque was constructed after demolishing the temple. It has also not been proved by the Hindus that the specific small portion, i.e. premises in dispute 1500 square yards, was treated, believed and worshipped as birthplace of Lord Ram before construction of mosque. In situation when both the parties have failed to prove initial title, commencement of title, it is possession and possession alone which decides the question of title in accordance with Section 110 Evidence Act, which is quoted below. And he goes on to quote that particular Evidence Act clause. Now, I'm asking you, sir, on the basis of this ruling and Justice Khan's own words, can you not concede the claim today? If it's a matter of faith for the Hindus,
Khan said all those kinds of things.
Why can't, like the Shias have said, sir, let us concede and give in to the wishes, the beliefs, and the faith.
For heaven's sake, what Khan has said, in fact, Khan has talked about the evidence and whatnot, and it is a matter of fact that that fateful night for more than 500 years.
Sir, the matter of fact is that even your claim, it's possession.
Yeah,
it's
possession
only possession.
Yes, possession.
But how did that possession come about? The Hindus say that possession came about on the back of a sword.
For your kind information.
May I interrupt here? It is not just possession they are claiming adverse possession. There's a difference, because they have conceded that this land belonged to the Hindus, because there were Hindus only before Babur came, or whoever he says came, and adverse possession is only valid, and it was rejected by the court, because you have to show that the people whose property you deprived did not protest against it. I occupy your house for 12 years and you don't protest, it becomes by adverse possession my house.
Let's look at this.
Sir,
let's look at this.
No.
Is it not true that in 1822 a Faizabad court official, Hafizullah, had said in an official record, the mosque founded by Emperor Babur is situated at the birthplace. I'm not saying it, he's saying birthplace of Lord Ram. Now, do we go by these official records or we do not?
We should not, because these are in dispute. We have on this particular...
Sir, this is material that is before the court.
But these are not the final material. This is the High Court.
So where do you want? Do you want someone to pull out a...
Supreme Court will decide.
Do you want someone to clone from the bones of Mr. Hafizullah and bring him back to life? He's already said this.
Please don't make a fun of it, because
I'm not making a fun.
Ultimately it will be the Supreme Court who will be deciding.
For you, no proof is enough.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Would you say that matter is decided? So
sir, I am saying when
sir,
there are people who have testified on record.
All these things are disputable.
Guru Nanak ji visiting the Ram Janam Bhoomi spot, doing a darshan of Ram Lalla. This was 2 decades before the construction of the mosque by Baba.
Rahul, I would not like to delve on this, because these are all
Valmiki Ramayana describes this beautifully in the Skanda Purana.
Sir, in our all affidavits and detailed response, we have already contested, and this will be taken care of.
How can you contest this?
We will contest it.
The Puranas can be contested. The Puranas can be contested, but the words of Mir Baki and his deeds cannot be contested.
When I was saying the Puranas would be contested?
But you're saying, sir, these are material facts that are being placed before the courts.
These material facts are challenged. These are not being correctly recorded. That is what I'm trying to tell you. And this will be
not correctly recorded.
Yes, not correctly recorded.
Let me talk about the ASI report of 1889.
ASI report said
Page
that
67. Listen to me, sir. Allow me, sir. Chapter 10 of the report of the Archaeological Survey of India, NW, which is Northwest and Oudh, 1889. It is mentioned, page 67, that Babri Mosque was built in AD 1528 by Mir Khan on the very spot where the old temple of Janmsthan of Ramchandra was standing.
So it was established.
ASI is also not.
It was established by Mir Khan or Babur. I'm confused now.
No, it was.
Sir,
I'm confused now.
We know that it was.
I'm confused that you are saying Mir Khan.
Built, sir.
For your kind information, that is not a part of Babur regime itself.
Okay, so we forget that also.
Yes.
Now I brought out 3.
Your record,
okay,
yes.
so let's look at this. The English sub-judge who dismissed a petition filed by Mahant Raghubar in 1885, who had sought permission to build a temple. But note what the judge said when dismissing the suit.
Rahul,
he said, please, sir.
Sir, I'm raising an objection to it. I'm raising objection. Are we discussing?
I am talking about adverse possession as raised. I am trying to establish, sir, that there is enough to show that there was adverse possession.
All these things are pending in the Supreme Court.
It doesn't matter, sir.
Yes.
We can discuss it.
We will not be discussing the court case here. We are only discussing this particular part, whether this judgment of the 2:1 judgment is what would be the position. As far as the case is concerned, we are not discussing the case here. We'll be discussing in the Supreme Court.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
I have asked you, we began with a simple question. After the recent judgment, it's not even been a week, have the scales tilted in favor of the Hindus now that this matter is being only or purely seen from the realms of a title suit? I am only asking you, sir, given the fact that even the Muslim community, in the words of Justice Khan, have not been able to establish that this was a land owned by the Mughal emperor, is your claim equally tenuous, if not more?
We have all the faith. We have all the faith
Sir,
that we have got. We have because
faith is no longer going to be regarded
as far as faith on the democracy.
as a touchstone.
Sir, faith is not democracy. Faith on the judiciary. As far as all these things are concerned, they have not been even touched upon. The only thing which has been touched upon, whether Dr. Ismail Faruqui case is relevant or not.
It is not relevant.
It is no.
So it now becomes a title suit.
It is a title suit. So let the title suit decide. And if the title suit, Rahul, we
Sir,
lose.
Evidence after evidence.
Are you deciding? Are you the Chief Justice?
No, these are
So
submissions.
let it be decided by the Chief Justice, by this court.
So the court should be the final arbiter.
Obviously.
No consensus, no room for consensus.
When you, sir, the consensus could have been when the mob. When the mob would have not demolished the whole thing.
So let me then ask.
The fact of the matter is, Babri Masjid was there. We were praying there up to the fateful night of 1949 for more than 550 years. And the crowd came and demolished everything.
Okay, so now
that is the fact of the life.
Okay, so fine. Demolished everything. That's an important point. The demolition.
Demolished in 1992 or 49?
No, 49 तो वो करा दिया था ना रात को वो रामलला वहाँ हो गए थे. Demolished 92 को हुआ है.
So I want to ask you, sir, when it comes to justice, if the Hindus are also seeking justice today via the Supreme Court,
Yes.
Muslims also have a right to justice.
Yes, absolutely.
There was vandalism in 1992.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sir, if there is no justice done in the 1992 demolition case, does that deprive the Hindus a moral right to also, therefore, claim the Ram Janambhoomi?
Well, let me answer that by saying...
I will say no. I will be on his side there.
Okay.
No. These are two different things. They must be prosecuted, all those people who are...
Let him speak.
Yeah.
It is important.
Yes. Mine is not a black and white no.
Yes.
Narendra Modi government actually reinstituted that case, which was dismissed at the High Court level and was not appealed by the Congress government. So, and Mr. Advani is on bail, Mohammed Bharti is on bail, and a number of others are on bail. So, I think in our system, the justice is dispensed by courts, and the mood of the public is established by Parliament. These are the two principles on which we function. That court case will give them the justice. What we are saying is, and he cannot deny it, that masjid is essentially for a congregation to read namaz. And Babri Masjid was built, according to ASI and other evidence, on an existing or in the site of a temple. And therefore, they can always agree to build a masjid somewhere else for congregation, which is what they do. You are quoting Turkey. The Prime Minister's Turkey is on record, and you can get this from Google, that it's more important to build highways than keep masjids. Masjids, because he demolished 7 masjids in a row to build a highway.
Yes, I'm aware of that statement.
Yeah.
And that has happened in the context of construction that has had to be taken place yes, exactly, in and around the capital city.
That's right. So they do it in almost every Islamic country that I have studied, that they think it's shiftable. It's a place to read namaz, and namaz can be read anywhere, in the drawing room, in the streets, anywhere.
Puja cannot be done. Puja cannot be done in the drawing room or the place.
No. Please don't miss the main point. Ram was born there.
That is a matter of faith.
Puja cannot be done in any other place. It cannot be done in drawing room. It cannot be done at a private place. So where is the need?
This is a problem.
Yes, sir.
I said from the very beginning, this is special for us because it is Ram Janmabhoomi. You asked the question, how can you forego the other temples? We have ways of finding a way for that.
But you see, we come back to the same question.
Yes.
How do we know that was the Janamsthan? This is exactly the point that he has made.
On this
Now,
issue, the courts are very clear. If a large number of people believe as a religious faith something, and it is there in section 295 of the IPC also, where there is a hate speech question, they say what is held sacred by the people cannot be justiciable in court.
but sir, then we wouldn't have had the Sabrimala ruling.
What is the Sabrimala ruling is not a
If you
question.
go by what
It
Indu
is
Malhotra
not a
has to
question.
say.
Please don't distort that. Sabrimala is not a question of faith. It is part of the Shastras. That means it's amendable. Only the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Aranyakas and the Brahmanas are not amendable. All right? Because they are God revealed. This is a code which was created, and we have changed codes over the years, and now the latest code is the Constitution of India, which says equality of rights. Those women who oppose this, they need not go on those 5 days. They can continue to do what they were doing before. But don't stop those women who think that they have a right to
Okay,
go.
so here we are. We are back at the question, and this is at the root of this. The reasons why the Hindu community might even press, in case there's an adverse finding by the Supreme Court, might press for another route, which is Parliament, sir, is because it is an article of faith, the Ram Mandir. Nothing will change that. They believe that this was the Janamsthan of Lord Ram. And therefore, today I'm asking you, sir, has the time come for the Muslims to hear this with an open mind?
Same way, sir. Same way, because Rahul, in the very case which is pending in the Supreme Court, which is to be heard, there are 4 or 5 different kind of affidavits by my Hindu friends, in fact, and they are not pretty sure as to when Ram was born.
It doesn't make a difference.
It is a difference.
It is a matter of faith. It's an article of faith.
So which article of faith should I belong to? Say the kind of faith which say that it was 1,000 year or 2,000 year, 1 million year or 2 million year. All these things are a matter of record in the Supreme Court, number one. Number two, the answer to this question, if the Parliament decides about I have no other option but to follow it. But as far as my faith is concerned, that will for all the times will continue unless the justice is being done to all those people who have vandalized, who has demolished the Babri Masjid over there, who have done it in the eyes of everybody. No justice is being done, even in that matter, wherein it should have been decided 92. And
Do
now
you
we are
regret
with
the
this.
demolition?
Me? I was never part of it.
No, but do you regret it?
Why should I regret when I didn't do
Do you
it?
condemn it?
Why should I condemn it? It's in the courts. Let
You're
the
a
courts
member of
say
Parliament,
that.
sir.
That's it.
I am a member of Parliament, certainly.
You are sworn
but
to
I
uphold
don't
the
have
law.
to
Wasn't
condemn.
that a-
I don't have to condemn an act which is under prosecution. That is enough of a condemnation.
No, but you have a view.
I have a view.
What
I
is your
wasn't
view?
part of it. I tried my best.
So you're not taking a position.
I
He's
will not
taking a
take a position because you asked me to take a position.
As a law-abiding citizen-
Mr. Narasimha Rao has written a glowing letter of the role I played to see that this doesn't happen. Shabuddin and I were at it. It happened.
L.K. Advani
Who made
wept.
it? I don't know who did it.
L.K. Advani wept. He said it was a mistake,
That I don't know.
grave blunder.
Listen, I am not going to speak in behalf of anybody. Whether
he's
it was
still
whether it was a mob action, not a mob action, I'm not going to say that. I'm saying the courts are seized of it. You ask me after the court judgment. I'm not going to say whether there's no question of my regretting because I'm not a part of it. And as far as
Sir,
whether I condemn it,
if a crime took place,
I will condemn the day Mr. Mir, whatever, Baki came here and demolished a temple and built a masjid.
But that is condemnable, but not the demolition.
First, let them condemn that.
There is a dichotomy. In fact, I tell you,
There's no dichotomy.
he is a fantastic man. He is the one who, in fact, who took the case of all those Muslim people who were butchered in Malyana, Hashimpura. He is the only one who is still
at it.
He is still that. He is the person because some crime was done and those innocent people were killed and thrown into the canal. No Muslim had taken up that kind of courage which he has taken. No other politician is there. But look at that. At one point of time, he is saying that the crime was committed, the people were killed, and they should be prosecuted. At the other time, no comment on this. Whereas the crime is the same.
No.
Why, Dr. Swamy?
Because I think that the original building of the masjid was a crime itself.
I did not
and
do
I'm
it.
undoing
Two
it.
wrongs don't make a right.
And I did not do it.
So
sir.
disown it
I
and
did not do
say,
it.
I have nothing to do. You can do whatever you want with the masjid. You can't have both ways.
So-
That I didn't
so-
do it, but I will defend it.
So here is the divergence in the narrative.
Yes.
If the courts rule in favor of the Muslims, the Hindus will go through or perhaps explore other means to still have their way.
Only one mean, that is parliament. No other mean. Everything within the constitution.
Why not already the
But there's
processions,
nothing
etc.?
to stop,
Oh, yeah.
nothing to
But
stop,
already
nothing
today
to
you are-
stop
you are-
anyone from
you are-
storming that structure again.
May I tell you one thing?
Because
The
we are not
Supreme
going to-
Court-
we are not
Supreme
going to take a
Court in
position on the demolition
Please
in
listen to
92.
this, which Supreme Court has already in 1994 allowed us to build a ordinary temple there, and pujas are going on. And the Muslims cannot come there and
If
do
you
namaz.
quote like this, then
But this is a threat that is being held out.
This is not a
We
threat. It's a
can't-
constitutional
If we
option.
don't punish the original demolition, what is the guarantee, sir, that if the Supreme Court
Original
rules in their favor, in the Muslim
original
favor,
demolition was,
we won't storm that
original
complex again?
demolition was of Mir Baqi.
Sir, I am not
And he
Mir
was a
Baqi.
Shia, by
I
the
am
way.
not Mir Baqi. Hang me.
No, I
Hang
can't.
me,
You
because I
disown it.
demolished
You
mosque.
say, I don't want to
I
have
demolished
anything to
Mandir
do.
Masjid.
I don't want to have anything to do with the masjid. This is what he should say.
Why not? Masjid was
no,
there.
but why should he
It was
say it?
built by it was built by Mir Baqi by demolishing a
Well,
temple.
the
So
only
I'm not
thing...
Mir Baqi. Hang me.
So
Okay.
you can't enjoy the fruits of
I'm not
Mr.
Mir
Mir
Baqi,
Baqi.
and it is to be
How
proved
can you
distant.
enjoy the
Sir,
fruits of aggression?
Sir, that is history. We were not still a nation. We became a law-abiding constitutional
This has not been dug up.
democracy.
This is every year the Hindus used to agitate on those days.
I can understand that. But today, as a constitutional democracy, we must respect the letter of the law.
Absolutely.
We must therefore condemn a crime that has taken place
That
in
is not letter of the
1992.
law. Obey the letter of the law is the law. It is not going to condemn anything before a judgment is given. I am surprised you asked me
But
that.
there's a material
Sir,
fact that the
How do
domes
you-
came down.
Who did it? How do I know that others didn't do it?
Well, some
Oh my God. Oh my God, Swamy
some
sir.
of the prime accused have expressed contrition.
But
It was pretty evident
who?
from the
Who has
footage.
expressed?
L.K. Advani has come out and
Advani has said it is
he
a
shed-
sad day for
he
me.
shed
But
tears.
he said, I tried to stop it. Please read his affidavit.
He tried to stop but couldn't stop it.
Yes.
And
He said that.
And
Stop whom?
People.
He was talking about the
and he
car
was very much over
savers.
there.
He was talking about car savers that you were trying to stop them from
Yeah.
doing it.
Yes,
Rahul
yes,
and the way-
yes.
and the-
So he's
so
expressed
how do you
regret.
say that he's done it?
He's expressed. No, I'm not saying he's done it. I'm saying let's condemn the act
Why
of
should I
demolishing.
condemn the
At
act?
least let's.
Why should I condemn the act when violence against our temple of our Lord who was born there? That is our belief. That is not being condemned.
They believe that the masjid
If they
is a holy place.
If they condemn it, they should disown it.
Okay. Well, it's quite clear to me after hearing both of you that this is an issue that materially has become a test case for your beliefs. Now, I want to ask one small question, and this personally is something that I have reported on. An effort was made recently by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Dr. Swamy was also part of it, to resolve this out of court. Why can't today, in the principle of good faith, brotherly love, both communities sit together and concede that, look, if this is the spot, if this is the spot where Lord Ram was born, let there be a temple. Let's adopt the spirit of the Allahabad High Court judgment and finish the matter.
Sir, as far as Shri Shri Ji is concerned, I have great respect, and he counts me as to one of his friend, in fact. So his efforts are laudable. But I have always been asking the question that when you are making an arbitration, when you are trying to settle the whole issue, you cannot dictate the terms. You must listen to everybody and then
But
try
he's
to
not
find-
dictating the terms.
is.
He invited the other side, they refused to show
sir,
up.
But he's dictating. He is not talking about if Muslims and Hindus and all other communities sit together and they find out a solution. They find out a solution, let the masjid and mandir coexist. Is there any
Sir,
possibility?
that can only happen
Is there
when
any
the
possibility?
conversation begins in earnest.
So, but
He invited
no, sir.
members of
no,
the...
sir, I'm telling you. I'm on record, I'm telling you.
They didn't show up.
Sir, I am telling you.
Is that not a fact?
Sir,
Did he call you?
No, he called me and I told him very clearly. I've got an opportunity, I'm telling you. I told him, sir. I told him that, sir, what do you want? He said, gift it. Said, then the matter is ends.
Mr.
He said, gift it. Don't claim anything. I
Mr.
said,
Faruqui,
sir, will it be
I'm
please,
only asking you a question. You begin from a maximalist position. You find a middle ground. That is negotiation. You respect Dr. Swamy.
Yes.
You have been neighbors.
Yes, you are not.
Can't you become partners in a resolution?
After some time.
No, can't you become partners
I will.
in a resolution?
I would.
Why did you not attempt? Why did you not at least attempt to bridge?
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. But whenever there has to be
Why
that.
shut the door?
No, we are not shutting the door. We are always saying, why can't masjid and mandir coexist?
This intractability.
Sir, you tell me.
I'm not saying that
Yes.
that should be precluded. That could be a solution.
should be
but why don't you talk it out?
Yes.
Forget the courts.
I'm ready, Dr. Saab. I'm ready to talk about it.
Well, you have an opportunity.
Yes, good opportunity you are giving me. I'm ready to have a discussion on this, but with not the closed mind. Open
You
it up.
seem to have a closed mind.
I don't have. This is.
You have
this-
already said
Sir, this is wrong on your part.
coexistence. They are saying
This is wrong. This is wrong on your part.
At least begin a dialogue.
Yes, dialogue is there.
Where is the dialogue? You have not
three of us.
attended those talks.
No, we are-
I am nobody.
Sir, we are. It's
I am
you are
Shivshankar, not
initiating
Shri
the
Shri
dialogue.
Ravi
You are initiating the
Shankar.
dialogue.
Please, no. I am
initiating the
not.
dialogue.
I am not Shri Shri Ravi Shankar. He started.
Don't put up
he
the conditions
started,
for a dialogue.
He has been successful.
Sir, don't
he has
put
been
the conditions-
successful. That is
don't
your
put the
version. When
condition.
I have spoken to Shri Shri Ravi Shankar, he said, I just wanted people to first attend, evolve a solution
now-
through a conversation.
Rahul bhai, up to now, this was all in the newspaper. Now,
Okay.
I am saying it in front of you.
Okay,
This is what
well-
has transpired. He is asking for the gift.
45 minutes later.
I cannot gift. I cannot gift
45
anything
minutes
which I don't
later,
own.
45 minutes later, there are some strands of this conversation that are becoming clearer. The first and foremost strand, viewers, is this, that as of today, this no longer remains or at least it has been delinked by the Supreme Court recently, the Babri Masjid, that is, from being an integral part of the faith, which opens up many possibilities in the law. I can't presage, and neither can the two gentlemen who you've just heard presage the courts. But the worrying aspect is that it would appear that if the courts don't rule in the favor of the Hindus, there may be a protracted move to try and circumvent what the Supreme Court has done. Now the question is that justice? Is that truly justice? That is where the conversation ends. That is a question that you must ponder. I leave it at that. Thank you.